Hey everybody, Dennis Tooley here with the MS Warriors Way podcast, and wanted to get started today and let you know that we have plans to have another MS Warrior that will be joining us. Uh, she has not signed in yet here on our podcast, but if I see her show up here in a little bit, we will add her in a little bit. But yeah, I'm planning on visiting with Erica Young, and let me just check and see if I am finding her. I'm not seeing her yet. Popping, or it's not Erica Young, it's Erica Taylor. Excuse me, Erica Taylor will be joining us today. If she gets her computer and camera operating properly, she'll be joining us. Otherwise, I'll reschedule her. But because we're here, and I wanted to come out and visit with you a little bit about ideas and ways to find the positive in sometimes what appears to be a somewhat negative situation, a negative time. And let's be honest, this is a topic that is so true to more than just um, people with MS, people with a chronic illness. This is something that is impacting everybody today. With the COVID-19 taking over the world and shutting businesses down and closing places and telling people to stay home, there's so much of that that has consumed us in a way that we have really, we've been inundated with negative news, negative thoughts. Everything's horrible. Everything's going down. The economy is in the tank. It's, all of that just consumes us. And so I wanted to take some time to really focus in on and challenge us to begin to think of ways that we can turn our negative environment into something positive. Where can we find something encouraging, something uplifting in the middle of what is all around us seeming to be negative news? I apologize if you're hearing noises to the room here. My dog has joined us, and Gus doesn't understand. Hey, be quiet now. I'm going to be recording. So if you hear the snorts and growls, and that's because he's a dog, and he doesn't care if I say be quiet. Anyway, I digress. So one of the things that I try to do every day is I try to start my day with something positive. Before I pick up my phone to see if anybody sent me any messages, if I have any emails, if I missed anything on Facebook, any of that, the first thing that I do before I do all of that is I have something that I have prepared for myself the night before that provides me with a positive thought, a word of encouragement. So the first thing I see in the morning is waiting for me to say, hey, today's going to be a great day. When you start out, your very first thoughts are, today's going to be a great day. It's so much better than getting up, looking at your phone and saying, ooh, I didn't know so-and-so died, or, hey, it's too bad that there was another earthquake. We get those things at us way too early in our days anyway. So if you can prepare the night before, now here's the trick. when you prepare something the night before and you're putting something into place so that um, you can, when you wake up, there's something there to help you. There's something there to encourage you, something to get your thoughts focused in something positive. When you do that the night before, you go to bed with something positive in your mind when you go to sleep. Just a thought. So, uh, the first thing that the first key that I think to helping us stay positive when the environment is pretty negative is to plan to start with something positive. Um, Something else I do that is another key to me starting out with positivity is I select music that's going to play to wake me up. My alarm goes off, I have music playing. So immediately I've got something playing that it's energetic, it's uplifting, it's encouraging, it's exciting. I don't start out listening to funeral dirges. That would kind of ruin my day if I did that. So, by all means, the second key when in planning ahead is to prepare for something good, something encouraging, something uplifting to be playing when you wake up. Um, I have one of those Google Home. I think it's called Google Home. It's one of those Google things. It sits right up beside my sink in my bathroom, and so I walk in, and before I do much, I'll say, "Hey Google, play music," and it's already queued up to play the music that I want. So as I'm getting ready for my day, I've got that music playing on my phone. I set an alarm, and it plays music to wake me up, and it's music that I like. It's music that's uplifting. So, by all means, when you start your day, if you have prepared ahead of time for something that's going to give you an uplifting thought, just write it on a small note card, put it right there beside your bed. You see it first thing, especially if you're like me, you pick up your glasses, have it right there. Have it there over the top of your phone. So you can't even get to your phone unless you look at that. You're starting out the day with something good. Now, as you go through the day, the the third key to staying positive when the environment seems to be pretty negative is to force yourself to stop when you think you're hearing something or you think you're moving towards something that's going to be negative. Force yourself to stop and ask yourself, where is the positive in this? Where is the good in this? Now, trust me, I know you can't have the good in stuff all of the time. It can't be good every waking moment of the day. I understand that. There are times when bad things happen regardless. I have had times when I've had flat tires. I didn't plan on that. I didn't say, hey, how can I make a flat tire positive and good? Now, I could tell you stories where that actually happened, where something good came out of it, but I can't say that I started out my day saying, I got an idea. Let's see if we can find something positive in a flat tire. Nah, that's not how it worked. But at the end of the day, I think you've got to be prepared for those moments when you know you're going to have uh, a bad day, where you know something is going to seemingly appear to take you sideways or whatever the case might be. Um, you know you're going to have those times. So in that case, I would say force yourself to look for something that's going to be positive in the middle of it. And if you can't, then have something that is a standard go to approach in every negative situation. You have something that sparks a positive internal switch for you. For me, um, there are Bible verses that help me remember that I'm not in the battle alone. There are memes that we see from time to time on different Facebook pages or Instagram or whatever. And it's in those posts that you can see and find some encouragement, you know? So yeah, when you find a place where you can't, where there isn't something positive happening right then, like I say, the environment around us is consumed with negative. But when you come prepared, so that in those moments you have a go-to place that will help trigger something positive, trigger something good for you, in those moments, it will switch your thinking and help you get back to having something good in spite of the negative environment around you. So, my first key, start your day out by having something prepared. And like I said, you prepare ahead of time and you know you're going to have that there to get your day started. Second key, have something ready to be listened to that will help get your focus and your energy turned into a positive way. And then the third thing is be aware of the surroundings and the things that you can't control, and have something that you will be able to go to as a centering point to help you get positive when everything else is negative. Because in our day, we're not born losers. And to me, people that are always negative and are just everything consumes them as negative, it's kind of that approach. They have this mentality of I'm going to lose this battle, I'm going to lose whatever. And so it's in that process that you realize you're not born to be negative. You've been taught to be negative. You were born to choose the forwardness, the future, where things are going. So it's in that I would encourage you to make sure that you are looking for and starting your day positive, and you're not allowing yourselves to be consumed with negativeness. Now, it's going to happen. You're going to run into something that's negative. That doesn't mean that you have to stay there. I think far too often we become like a little kid with a teddy bear. And it's like, no, this is my negative world. I'm going to cling to it. You get your own. And we grab a hold of it. We cling to it like a kid with a teddy bear. No. Find positive and cling to that. Make positive thinking, make a positive thought, make positive music, make encouraging friends, make those the teddy bears that you grab a hold and you cling to. Because in that, your day's going to be better, your outlook's going to be better. And for your friends and family and people around you, they're going to feel like things are better with you and because of you. So those are just some thoughts that I had today. And as I said, I had planned on us having our guest today. Our guest was scheduled as Erica Taylor. Not sure exactly why. I'll have to check with her and find out what may have caused her to not be able to jump on and to be part of this podcast. And I will do my best to get her scheduled again, reschedule things so that it works for her to jump in sometime soon. I will say this: if you are watching, either you're watching this on Facebook or you're watching it on YouTube, or you're listening to the recording, the audio version of this on any podcast platform, and you would like to be a part of the MS Warriors Way podcast, you'd like to share your story, you'd like to share some encouraging words and some challenge for other people with MS or any chronic illness, please send us an email to mswarriorsway@gmail.com, and I will get together with you, and we'll get a time scheduled where we can have you here on the podcast. Or if you are watching or you're seeing this on Facebook, just leave me a private message from Facebook. That's fine. Or leave a comment on YouTube. That is also fine. The other thing I would say is please, whatever platform you are catching us, subscribe to the Warriors Way, the MS Warriors Way podcast. So if you're seeing us on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up, like button. Let us know that you like the video. If you have comments, leave comments there, whether it's a comment on Facebook or a comment on YouTube or whatever platform you have for listening to your podcasts. Like I said, subscribe and then like it, and let us know how we can improve. How can we make things better? And so without any further else for me to say today, I think that may be it may be Erica popping in right now. So I think she has finally come to join us. So let me see if I can add Erica. Erica, I think we've got Erica.
Can you hear me?
There we are. How you doing today, Erica?
I'm fine. Excuse my appearance. You know the beauty parlors are closed.
Well, I understand. I'd like to say that if the beauty parlors would open, it would help me, but I don't think there's much help, you know. So
let me move. Let me get some light. So yes, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic. And before you were able to join us, I was just spending a little bit of time trying to share some thoughts and some keys to looking for positive and becoming positive when the world around us, the environment around us seems to be so negative, looking for the positive things. And that's what we were kind of talking a little bit before you were able to jump on. But man, I'm excited to have you here with us on the MS Warriors Way.
Thank you.
So Erica, tell me a little bit about your journey with MS. What was it that led you to be diagnosed? What was that process like for you to get a diagnosis, and how has that journey been since you were diagnosed?
Okay. Let's see. I was diagnosed July 28th, 08. I was working in the school system. I was a paraprofessional. I was doing that for 21 years. And that same year in February, I had the flu. So my eyes was hurt, my left leg was dragging. I was just sick. So my primary doctor put it up to the flu. But the same thing happened in July. My left leg was dragging and I just was sick. So I went to the ER. I was living in New Jersey then, and they kept me because I had a fever. And from the fever, after they kept me, they did an MRI, and then they came back and said MS. So I'm the only one in my family with MS. I was devastated. I was crying. I said, I got what Montel Williams had. I don't know what it is, but I have it. And then with my job, since I was a paraprofessional, with my job for the Orange Board of Ed, I was able to retire with my credentials and my insurance and everything. And from there, because it's going on 12 years in July, I turned the negative into a positive. So for me, MS means mighty sexy, mighty strong, mighty survivor, and mighty smart. And we have many strengths.
And that is such a key aspect to dealing with the day in and day out of what any chronic illness, but particularly for us, what multiple sclerosis does is have that attitude that says, you know what, if I'm going to have these initials attached, MS, I'm going to turn it into something that actually says, in spite of the illness part of this, there is something positive about it. And so by all means, kudos to having that mentality and that approach, that philosophy of life to make the most out of a disease that otherwise people might consider to be something horrible.
Yes.
So when those days come and you find yourself dealing with the ups and downs of what the disease does, how do you find a good positive place in the middle of all of that?
When I have bad days, I normally call my mother, or I just remember I take the negative and turn it to a positive, because of course it could be worse. And what I also did was, there's two other ideas that I share with people. You can get some sticky notes and write something positive on it. I am beautiful. Today will be a good day. God is on my side. And you can stick these sticky notes on your bathroom mirror or your bedroom mirror, and you read this out loud every day, and it becomes a part of you. My second idea I made me a positive poster board. So on this board, my nieces helped me. We cut out pictures and put up positive words on this poster board. And I can see, I can look at that every day, because it says positive. You have beautiful, positive pictures up there.
That's a great idea to get family and friends, get that support system that you have in place to help you put out, to come up with the ideas or the pictures of what's going to be positive and help lift you up.
Yeah.
Having a support system is one of those things that I talk a lot about, and I don't know how strong of a support system you have in place. Are you part of a support group, or just?
Yes.
Yeah.
I go to Good Shepherd here. I'm in Bethlehem, PA. Good Shepherd, of course, not now, but yes, I go to a support group meeting.
Yeah. And that's where having a support system is so important. It's critical for us to not only to have a place where we can go to have other people that understand what we're going through, and
Yes.
they're able to come along and encourage us, but also for us to be there to do that for others, to lift other people up and encourage them sometimes in the days where they're not having great times.
Yes.
So let me ask you, what words of encouragement or challenge would you have for anybody that's they're either listening to this podcast, whether it's on the audio version or the video version, they're watching this. What words of encouragement do you have for them in terms of how they can thrive in spite of multiple sclerosis?
First of all, I would say don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear. And for me, it took me some time to turn the negative into positive, because of course I had my days crying, why me, what happened, blah, 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 blah. And I had to leave my job after 21 years, so that was devastating. But for me, it took some time for me to rearrange those words. Instead of having them saying multiple sclerosis, like I just said, you turn them MS into something positive. I have 2 t-shirts with those models on it. My other model is think positive, speak positive, and positive things that happen. Because what we're going through, my mother, she's healthy. She doesn't have MS. She say, Erica, I'm forgetful. So some of the things that we go through as MSers, people that's supposed to be healthy, they go through the same thing. And like I said, you can also journal. Get you a notebook. If you're going through something, just write down what you're going through. And just start thinking positive. Like I said, them sticky notes are a big help. Even though if you have company, they use your bathroom, might not look right, or you can take them down. But I believe them sticky notes every morning, you say, I am beautiful. Today will be a good day. God is on my side. You read that every day out loud, that'll be a big help.
And I think it's so important to have that mentality of looking, I'm going to find something positive in this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about journaling, one of the things that I like to do when I sit down and I write out how am I feeling today? How are things going? What's kind of the environment around me? I'll write down and just kind of give myself so that I can go back and kind of remember those things. But the best part of it for me is when I'm having a rough day, uh, and I journal that, and I go back a day or two later, and I kind of look at what was going on, and then I have the perspective that, hey, I survived that. I came through that, and I have that perspective of it being past. Then I can sit down and say, okay, when I have a day like that again, because chances are I'm probably going to have another day like that sometime. What are some things that I can put into place to help me deal with it a little bit better the next time? And so like your sticky note approach, what sticky notes should I have in place so that if I know I'm in the middle of one of those rough days, I can say, oh yeah, I should probably get those sticky notes and start putting them up around the place, so that they're there to remind me. And so when you take and you kind of layer some of these practices and these keys for getting through rough days, when you layer them together, your journal kind of helps to stimulate what you can do with the sticky notes. The sticky notes can help you remember that you have a support system. The support system can remind you that you can get through this. And then you get kind of circle back and you see in the journal, guess what? I've had days that have been pretty rough, and I've had days that have been really good, and I'm a survivor. I'm still thriving in this. And so all of those things together really help put us on a path to finding the good and in the middle of what seems to be a negative situation.
Yes, and my sister gave me a great idea because every year she said I should add a new MS word on my shirt. So my new word for next year is going to be made strong.
Definitely.
Made strong. So every year, and then when I celebrated my 10th year of fighting MS, I had a big celebration. My family, my friends, food, and then I called the MS Society. They sent me some pamphlets. I had my positive e-board for decoration. It was really nice. I celebrated the fight. I threw a big shebang. I had T-shirts made with the number 10. It was beautiful.
Well, and that's for me. I was diagnosed in 2003, so 17 years I've been at this. And every time the month of March rolls around, I kind of remember, hey, guess what? I've survived this another year. I made it a whole nother journey around the sun, and I'm still here.
Yes.
I am made strong, and so I think having that approach and kudos for celebrating. That's one of the things that I talk about quite often is celebrate the little successes, celebrate the moments.
Yes.
Because when we can celebrate those moments in the middle of the struggle, in the middle of the negative, we find the positive rises to the top and brings us even greater strength. So, well, Erica, I want to thank you for taking some time to get out here and be a part of the MS Warriors Way podcast and sharing with us your thoughts and ideas and just the challenge to put up the sticky notes. And one of the things that I was saying before you joined us today was when you take and think ahead and plan, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a sticky note that says something positive on it. I'm going to put it up here. When you're doing those things ahead of time, you're encouraging yourself and you're providing positive thinking just as you're writing those things down. And then when you put them up on the mirror in your bathroom, or you put it up on the refrigerator, wherever you're putting it up, you're enforcing that positive mentality.
Yes.
And so just some really great thoughts that you had to share with us. And it goes right along. And I want to kind of put this out that you and I didn't have a deep conversation before you came on. So we didn't plan this. You were talking about stuff that I had just mentioned before you came on. and it just reinforced what I was talking about, what you were talking about. And I always say, when great minds think alike and they talk about it together, great things can happen. So
Yes.
I appreciate you coming and being part of this episode of the MS Warriors Way. And so I will also say, if you're watching this on YouTube, someplace there is a subscribe button. Find that subscribe button and hit that. And then there's a thumbs up thing. If you can hit that and say, yeah, hey, I like this, let us know. And then there's a little bell. If you click on that, you'll be aware of any episode that when we put a new episode out, you'll be aware of that. And then please share it with your friends, your family, anybody you think that might get some benefit out of the conversation that we have. One warrior to another warrior, we sharing ideas and talking about things. If we can help lift you up and we can help lift others up, by all means, please share the episode with others. And we would love to hear from you. Give us comments and let us know how this episode has encouraged you and how it has helped you walk through the dark days that sometimes can come along with just the day in, day out struggle of a chronic illness. So again, I want to thank Erica for joining us, and we thank you here on the MS Warriors Way, our guest Erica Taylor, and thank you for joining us, Erica. And until next time, keep it positive, keep it focused on the good, and you will become a better person, and then share how much better things are for you in your celebration and telling others about your celebration. And together we can kick MS in the can, and we can survive, and we can do it the Warriors way.